Shalom Aleichem. This week's Sedra, Parshas Emor. One of the main subjects is that of kahuna. Various particulars relating to the Kehanim in the Beis HaMikdash and their Avodah, Psulei Avodah, things that would render them not fit to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, things that they have to be particular about, things that we have to be particular to do towards them, ways, the way we must treat the Kehanim. And we're going to jump now to the Haftarah. And the Haftarah, it's in Yecheskel, and it talks about Kahuna also. And we already mentioned that a vast portion of this week's Sedra is dedicated to the halachas of Kehanim. So it reasons that that's the pshat why this is the Haftarah that was chosen for this week's Sedra. While it makes sense and it does reflect a theme that's discussed in this week's Sedra at length, there are other topics that are discussed in this week's Sedra. We talk about the Yom Tovim, the Chagim, and those somehow aren't chosen. We don't find a Haftarah that talks about the Yom Tovim. Why not? Seemingly that would be more fit as a Haftarah, as the halachos that pertain to Kohanim, as important as they may be, are not relevant to all of us. They are relevant to an elitist group amongst us, to those that serve in the Beis HaMikdash, that were chosen to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. It's not even one of the 12 tribes. It's only a portion of Shevet Levi. So why is it that the Haftarah is dafka chosen to reflect these halachas and not the halachas of Yom Tov? Sometimes the question is the answer. It's something that we've discussed in the past in various contexts, that something I've written about, that the Kohanim are only the Kohanim because they are doing the Avodah for Am Yisrael. They are there in the Beis HaMikdash to take care of our sacramental needs. They're servants, they're public servants. That's what they're doing. The Pasuk tells us that v'kidashtem, that you have to sanctify the Kehanim because we are sanctified. So what does that mean? It's because it mirrors our sanctification. They're there to do the Avodah because we're an Am that needs to do Avodah. We're an Am that constantly needs Avodah being done in the Beis HaMikdash, b'shanim ketiknom, when things were the way they were supposed to be. We always need those things. And these are the Shluchei Tzibur. These are those that were chosen to be the Shluchei Tzibur, but they're there as public servants. Their Kedusha is equally as relevant to all of us as it is to them. There are many lessons that we can learn from the details, the particulars that relate to the Kehanim, for all of us. Because what happens when these are the Shlich Tzibur and Shul, when we're davening, the fellow who leads the services, the pshat is what he's doing is he's a mouthpiece for what we're all doing. So the Avodah and what he does and how he does is really just amplifies on a certain level everything that we are all supposed to do. So there's an interesting issue that comes up in this week's Sedra. A kohen isn't allowed to become tameh. He's not allowed to be contaminated with tumas meis, with a tumah that emanates from a deceased person. There are exceptions, though, that are made to this rule. The two exceptions are that of a Meis Mitzvah and that of the Sheva Kroivim, the 7 most close relatives, the 7 nuclear relatives. His father, his mother, his brother, his unmarried sister, his son, his daughter, and his wife. Those are the relatives that he may become tummy for. The other exception is something that we refer to as a Meis Mitzvah. He's going along the way, he's in the middle of nowhere, and he finds a dead person lying there, and there's no one else to take care of it. It's incumbent on him to take care of this mace. Now, why is it that he's not allowed to become tummy for a mace? Because it's going to impede upon his ability to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. And that's the tafkid, like we said, of a kohen, is to be there to serve for us in the Beis HaMikdash, because we constantly need that avodah on the Beis HaMikdash. Therefore, he can't do anything which is going to impede, beki huzeh, even in the most minute way, on his avodah on the Beis HaMikdash. So now he's going along the way, and he finds a Meis Mitzvah. So I understand that he's got to deal with him because there's nobody else to deal with him. So we say, okay, that's going to push off his obligation in the Beis HaMikdash, because right now, the same way he needs to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, is the only thing that he can, this is the only person who can take care of this deceased person. He needs to stop everything he's doing. Okay, he won't be able to serve in the Beis HaMikdash afterwards. He's going to have to wait a week till he's able to go back and serve in the Beis HaMikdash. But right now, that's what he's got to do. But what about his family? Let somebody else take care of the nifter and his family. Why does he have to take care of it? So the teretz is that when somebody goes to take care of their family, that's a responsibility that only they can take care of. Only they are family. Nobody else can take care of a family the way somebody in their own family can. It's all a question, the same way we said it's more important for him to take care of the Meis Mitzvah than to do the Avodah Beis HaMikdash. Why? Because it's a matter of priorities. It's prioritizing. Family comes first, and that's what the Torah is telling us. And that's halacha and hilchos tzedakah as well. That aniyei mishpachtecha, the needy in your family, koidmin, they have precedence over any other ani, before anybody else who needs money. Another idea which carries an extremely important message to us all in this week's Sendra from the Kehanim is the whole idea of a kohen with a mum not being able to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. Kohen with a mum, it's something, l'chorah, it's a birth defect for the most part. It's hereditary, sometimes it can come on afterwards, but in any event, it's not something that was within his power to control. What did he do wrong? So he's left-handed. Who cares? That's his fault. He's got a unibrow. Why is that his issue? Let it be. Grow up. What? It's going to bother you? The Gemara says that sometimes the problem at the moment is that people are going to focus on it. Grow up. Don't focus on it. So there's all sorts of ideas in why a mum shtares, why a mum is a problem, why a blemish, something that's not perfect in the way he is, or not the normal way of being, so to speak. That it shtares, that it interferes with his being able to do the Avodah Beis HaMikdash. But I want to focus on a different point. Often these issues are hereditary. Kahuna b'chalal is something which is hereditary. Whoever's going to become the Gadol Hadar, the most prominent rabbi, or Lahadal of Alpha Rive Alpha Avdalos, in the secular world, whoever's going to become president of the United States of America or any other big position, somebody's going to become rich, do amazing things, discover, I don't know what, some sort of new scientific discovery, some sort of new breakthrough in medicine, find a cure for the coronavirus, who knows? Whatever it is that they do, that's not anything to do directly with their DNA. Oh, okay, maybe they're smarter because their parents are smarter. They might have certain things that they got from birth. But overall, it's what they make out of themselves. Kahuna has nothing to do with what a person makes out of himself. It's how he's born. The Jewish priesthood is just something that you get because your father was a kohen. So what's going on here that something that a person's born with can have an impact on him? The Gemara Nedarim tells us that many of the birth defects can come from different things that a parent does while they're involved in creating a child, even when they're focusing too much on their own pleasure and not as much on what's supposed to be focused on in such a moment. Notwithstanding, not discussing that whole subject, what's evident is that what we do has an immense impact on who our children will be. Whether they're own people and they can develop all sorts of different things on their own. The same way there's DNA that we can't change. If we have blonde hair and blue eyes or dark hair and brown eyes or whatever, there's certain things that are hereditary. And it's unlikely that somebody who's blonde hair and blue eye with two parents like that is going to have a child that ends up looking like an African American, or vice versa. Two African American parents that are going to have a blonde child. It's not going to happen because there's hereditary things there. It's just not going to happen. So too, the spiritual well-being of a child, while the ultimate outcome is up to them, we can do things to create this. The Maharal explains that after Adam Arishan was chayte, it's a phenomenal idea what I'm going to tell you now, and I heard this from a friend of mine, Rabbi Krakowski, who teaches to seminary girls, and I heard him talking once too, a few times, saying this message to groups of seminary girls, and it's a phenomenal idea, the way, the tzushtal, the way he applied it. But the Maharal talks about that after, so Ramchal talks about this also, that after the Chet of Adam Arishan, Kosh Baruch Hu broke the Nisayin, the Tikkun that needed to be done in order to fix that sin amongst all the future generations until we're Zaycha, Asad Lava. So we're carrying, in essence, things that we have a difficult time with are things that we're carrying from past generations. What we have a difficult time fixing, if we don't fix, is only going to be passed on to the next generation to fix. And that boils back down to this point, that it's hereditary. A kohen can't serve, perhaps, because of some sort of thing which is hereditary, and the whole kahuna is hereditary. In the spiritual realm, things are very much hereditary, if not equally so as they are in the physical world, maybe even to a greater extent. It is in our power to control how good the next generation can be, and if we can't do a good enough job in our own generation, let us at least understand that we're giving the kalim, we're giving the ability to the next generation to start off in a better place. We certainly can have a chiluk in that tikkun ha'olam, al yedei focusing on what we do, and it will have the most immense impact on how and what our children do and who they will become. Good Shabbos.